Today, we're doing one of the greatest smoked meats of all time.
Melt in your mouth, fall apart, pulled pork.
And of course, we gotta build an epic sandwich piled high with that amazing pork
And Carolina BBQ sauce.
then topped with homemade tangy coleslaw.
Oh, after one bite, your guests will declare you the pitmaster of the land.
You will have the blue ribbon winner. I'm telling you, this is gonna rival your favorite barbecue joint,
It
you
is
guys.
so
and it's easier
good.
than you might think. So let's get started. Let's talk meat first.
Yes.
This is a pork butt. It's also known as a Boston butt. A little confusing. It's not really the butt. It's the pork shoulder. But it's the front part of the shoulder, and it's perfect for pulled pork. It's perfect for slow cooking and smoking because it's very marbled, and we're gonna reach a certain temperature after a long time. And it's gonna melt, and that's what becomes that melt in your mouth tender
Yes.
deliciousness. So to get this going, we did a salt brine, and we started the night before. This is about a 6 pound. You're gonna want to go anywhere from 5 to 6. I did a 7-pounder the other day. The larger you go, the longer it takes for it to smoke. But this is a bone-in flavor, and this is about a 6.3 pounder. And what we did last night is we just got her out and literally salted it all over, and then just we didn't need to cover it up. Just put it in the refrigerator until right now. Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm going to apply my rub. Now the important thing to know
rub is
about
good.
this is our easy homemade best pork rub, and I'll tell you what it is. I'll go ahead and tell you while I'm doing this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to shoot this with a little bit of water.
Yeah,
Just
so that it'll stick to it a little more.
it helps make sure you want that amazing rub to stick to it. Sometimes when we do ribs, we'll do yellow mustard. That works well too. But this thing is moist, pretty moist as it is. I think it's going to adhere to that, no problem.
Yes, and you can use all this barbecue sauce on there, right? You're not going to save any.
The rub. Yeah, if you were going to save it, then you wouldn't want to be doing what I'm doing, which is putting my hand back in there. But let me tell you what this rub consists of. It's so easy. It's just a third a cup of dark brown sugar, a third a cup of granulated sugar, a quarter cup of paprika. You could go with smoked if you wanted to. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and then we've got a tablespoon of onion powder, and then we've got a tablespoon of ground black pepper, and then we've got a tablespoon of crushed rosemary, and then a tablespoon of ground ginger.
I love ginger.
I do too. And then you just store that until you're ready to use it. And it's got a long shelf life, so I make a batch. Especially in the summertime when we're grilling and we're smoking
all the time.
I'm making this stuff all the time. But one note about the rub. You'll notice I didn't say there was any salt in it. So if you do use a store-bought rub, just check the salt level, because if you're going to do the salt brine, you don't want to also then overdo it. Then it's going to be too salty. Okay, so now let's talk. I know.
I'm like drooling.
You're
over
mesmerizing
a raw piece of
I
meat
know.
right
Well, there's a lot that could be said about that. So now, let's talk about that.
So we are going to use our Smoke and Tex. We love our Smoke and Tex electric smoker. I think we've had this one now for close to 10 years, maybe 8 years.
I think so.
It still takes a licking. So I'm going to fill up the wood box here, and I've got some hickory, and I'm just going to put some so I have a nice layer across the bottom here.
There's our hickory wood chips. Hickory is a really great flavor for pork. You could also do mesquite is good. Pecan is very good. We're down here in Texas. That's good. So you're going to want, if you wanted to. We want a good amount of smoke on this. We're going to hit it several times with the smoke. I'm going to refill that a few times. But that's about 4 ounces of wood chips that we put in there.
All right.
So now let's head on over to the Smoke and Tex.
Let me get this in, and then let me get that water in.
Okay.
Too.
Well, while he's going over to that glorious Smoke and Tex, let me tell you a little bit why we love our Smoke and Tex so much. It is electric, but yet it still smokes, and so you get that perfect smoke flavor that you want. But it's a regulated temperature, so you're not always having to go back and add more chips and try to maintain that temperature. That's fun, but there's a challenge to that. You can certainly add more wood chips, like what we're going to do, to add more smoke. But the regulated temperature is just fantastic.
Hey,
also,
Chris, did I fill this all the way up?
No, you're going to fill it about halfway.
There we go, perfect.
So what he just did was he put in a little steam basket or pan at the bottom. That just creates steam. It's all of these things that we're going to do to help make this piece of meat super, super tender. Another thing that we love about the Smoke and Tex is that it is excuse me, it's on wheels, if you can see over there.
Yeah.
So it's movable. So it may
might rain. So
it might rain, so we just scoot it underneath the patio.
just a quick scoot.
Yeah, it's electric, so if you live in a condo, you can do this out on your balcony.
I wish we had this in Jersey.
It's insulated, so it doesn't get super hot. So if the kids are out running and someone touches it, it's not going to burn them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm just going to slide this in here. For electric, I like to do them fat side down.
Yeah. Got it.
And we can talk about that later. So you see that bone right there? You don't want to go into the bone. You want to kind of go around it, but into definitely the thicker part of the roast. And because you definitely want to maintain, you got to keep an eye on that temperature. We are going to turn this on to 225, and then every hour I'm going to come back. We want to create a great bark on this this roast. So every hour I'm going to come
got
back.
Like 10 of them to
I know, at least. Every hour until we hit the stall, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I'm going to refill the wood chip, so it just keeps getting smoke, and it creates this incredible bark on the outside. So the stall, just so you know, with the roasts and briskets, they reach a certain temperature, and then they just do that. They just stall. There's a science, there's a physics to it of what happens, of how the moisture, but it's just a natural thing. You can look it up, and it's really, really interesting. And it feels like we're no longer going to, our temperature is just kind of stalled out. That's why they call it a stall.
Right.
So we're going to do something to help once we get to that point, and that's usually around 165 degrees. It usually takes for
I thought
roast
160,
that size,
like between 160 and 165.
anywhere from it can happen at 155. It can happen
just
at 160.
being difficult.
Thank you. And you'll know because it just sort of stalls, and then we'll show you what you can do to kind of help work yourself through the stall and keep it super, super tender. And that's going to take, you're going to need to give yourself a full day of this. That's probably going to be about 6, maybe 7 hours before we hit the stall.
But it's worth the wait.
Oh boy, is it. Okay, so we are now officially in the stall.
It's been what, 8 hours?
It's been 8 hours. We're here in Texas, so the weather has changed like 6 times.
It has dropped 15 degrees.
It's like chilly.
It's freezing.
It rained. Now the sun's out. There's that saying that if you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to go get this.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm ready for you.
The smell is off the charts. Hopefully we have a nice bark. Oh, we have a beautiful bark.
Do that slow. Let everybody just see the nice slowness. I'm dying, Chris.
I know. I'm going to leave my thermometer over here.
Oh, wow.
That is beautiful. So now you want that dark bark because it's going to get flavor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do something called, now here we are in Texas, the Texas Crutch. We're going to help it. We want this baby to move along and not get out of that stall.
Okay.
So what we're going to do,
hold that, is
we've got some heavy-duty foil, and I'm going to go close my door just
keep
lose all that heat.
Keep that heat in there.
So you don't have to do this. A lot of pit masters will tell you that they don't do that, but a lot of people do it. So
I'm dying.
Okay, so now
So now
what we've done, we've made like a little
reservoir,
a little reservoir, and I've got about a 1/4 cup of apple cider. And this again is just going to help it stay super, super juicy. That may look like it's burnt, but it's not. It's that caramelization of the rub.
It is heaven.
So one of the things I mentioned, you saw earlier when I put that in, I decided to go ahead and put it fat side down. There's a big debate whether it's fat side up or fat side down. We've done both. I've spoke to the owner of Smoke and Tex numerous times about that, and he's so knowledgeable, as you would imagine. And we talked about the fat side up versus down, and there's a theory that when it's up, that it trickles into the meat and it flavors the meat. That is not accurate. It just doesn't work that way. With an electric smoker with a heating element at the bottom, the fat side down, it just works better, and it's going to make those really, really juicy.
Yes, you're protecting the meat also.
You are protecting the meat. And the other question is, a lot of people, you will see people, at this point, they wrap it in pink butcher paper, not just butcher paper, but pink butcher paper. We've done that. We've done it before with a brisket, and it just gets stuck in the stall, and it never got to the right temperature. our friend over at Smoke and Tech said wrap it tightly in foil because then you don't want any air circulating and drying it out, and it's just going to keep it perpetually in that stall. So we've always wrapped it and had perfect results every time. Okay, so now we got to go and we're going to let this go until
Real quick, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
while you're putting that back in.
Yeah.
We forgot to tell you, so if you go to smokeandtex.com and use the code LOON10, you'll get 10% off your entire order.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
It's amazing, and they have
You good?
the best.
You got it? There you go.
The best smokers, a variety of smokers. Now I'm going to put this thermometer back in, and we are going to let this continue to do the thing. Now, with that crutch will help it speed up the stall, and so now
So that dropped a little bit, but it's going to start.
It'll start going back up, and we want it to get to 201 degrees. Sometimes people like to take it out at 195, but at 201 is when all of that marbling it just melts and it becomes so tender.
It becomes a juicy heaven.
Juicy heaven, that's one way of putting it. Okay, so that's probably going to be, you never really know. This took about 8 hours to get to the stall. I had said 6 or 7, but it took a little longer. And every cut of meat is a little different. So we've probably got another 5 or 6 hours. Okay, here we are.
It has, wow.
It has been.
It's been a long day.
It's been a day. My voice is a little rusty, so forgive me for that. But this.
Well, it dropped like 50
I know it got
degrees
cold, and
practically.
so we've been doing this now for I think we're at 15 hours. You never know. Every cut of meat is a little different, and this one took a little longer than we thought. But we had our thermometer in there. We just hit 201 degrees, which means it's going to be, and I can just tell it's going to be good. So now you may be wondering, what is this thing you got here? This is called a brisket blanket,
or a meat blanket.
Yeah, not a brisket. Yeah, a barbecue blanket. So what you want to do is you need to let just for it to sit and rest. You can do it anywhere from I wouldn't do it less than 45 minutes. An hour is probably minimum, but you can let it rest for up to 2 hours, and it's still going to stay nice and warm.
I love this. This is so
too.
much better than the igloo and the towels.
An igloo.
The igloo.
But if you don't have one of these, we have a link for that, which is no problem. I mean, you can order one. They're great to have. If you don't have that, you can get what he was saying was igloo. He meant an igloo. Which is just a cooler, and you just put that in there with some towels. Get some old towels because they're going to kind of smell smoky, which is not a bad thing. Those will become your barbecue towels. And then you just wrap it. You just need. That's really, really. Don't skip this step.
Yes,
because
you need to keep this insulated.
Yeah,
yes.
because those juices are going to redistribute.
Right now, I can feel it happening.
And then we're going to start shredding, and then we're going to make the best sandwiches that we've been waiting for about 2 days. The time has come. I can't believe it. I'm so excited.
It has been a very long time, and so these better taste good.
Oh, I think sure they will. I think they will. You're such a pessimist.
I am not. I am not.
I know. Okay, so now we're lifting this beautiful, beautiful up. Oh my goodness!
There we go.
The smell is ridiculous. Okay, so now there's gonna be a lot of juices in here. You want to save these juices.
So
We've double wrapped. Yeah, just be careful as you're going. Look at that.
There's a lot of juices up in there.
That's good. Those
Look
juices.
at that bark.
I know that is bark. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The smell is intoxicating. Okay.
So let's see.
I'm just going to use my little meat claws here. Oops.
Nope.
Okay. You know what we can do is we can just.
I'm going to do this. Here.
We can just transfer it right into the.
Are you sure you want that juice? All that juice?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go, Chris. Go that way. There you go.
It's
forward.
so tender.
I'm not going to put that juice on there yet.
Look at that. Look at that. So these right here, what I'm using, these are called meat claws. I also call them. I call them bear claws. It just makes shredding the meat that much easier. All right.
You got it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
and most of that juice we're gonna want in there. But save it just in case you don't want all of it.
And there's some of that fat. I don't think we need all that fat.
Yeah, we can get rid of that. Okay.
Did I say that?
I know. I can't believe you just said. Look at that.
All right.
So this is a beautiful. So now you've got your bone in here. Find your bone. Here it is. It's so tender. It's just literally falling apart.
It's hot too.
So we're going to take this
meat off of this bone, and then, you know, we're gonna discard it.
There you go.
Okay, now these are my, like I said, these are my meat claws. I love it. It just makes shredding it so easy.
Tell me if you need some of this juice.
Yeah, let's start adding some of that juice. You can probably add all of it.
Oh, really? There's a lot there.
I know. Just give it a good, and then we're going to add some more of some of our sauce. Okay, that's good. I think that's good.
All right.
I'd say you want to add probably about a half a cup of your juice. Oh my gosh, look at that, Wesley. It's just
I know, I'm dying.
Literally.
I want to get rid of this thing.
Like I said, melt in your mouth, shreddable meat. It is incredible. Okay.
Okay.
So now we've got our homemade Carolina barbecue sauce, and we're gonna amp up the flavors, and we've got about a half a cup there. We want to coat this.
Juices in there. Oh,
yeah. So now we're gonna add that in. Let me tell you
all
how.
of it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do all of it.
Okay.
You want to coat it so it's nice. If you got any big chunks of fat, you can remove that, but I don't see any. Like everything is, oh my gosh, the smell. So let me tell you how we did this Carolina barbecue sauce. It's so easy and so much better.
Delicious, and I love
the tang when you make it from scratch. So it is 1 1/4 cups of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 a cup of ketchup, a tablespoon of dark brown sugar, and then we did a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then a cup of barbecue sauce. Your favorite barbecue sauce, of course, homemade is even better. And then we're going to put all of that into a saucepan, bring that to a simmer, let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then you just let it cool, store it until you're ready to use it. And it is so, so good.
There's something very satisfying about tearing this meat up.
It is incredible. And well,
look at that bark, Chris.
And the bark. It's all about the bark. I mean, it makes you bark. It's so good. Look at that. That is Pitmaster pulled pork.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So excited. Okay.
It is good.
All right. So now let's talk about what we've got over here for these sandwiches. We've got our buns. These are brioche buns
We toasted them.
that we just lightly buttered. I put them in a cast iron skillet and just toasted them. It doesn't take them long for them to get nice brown. Then over here, this is classic Carolina pulled pork condiment. This is coleslaw. This is our diner style coleslaw. We've got the recipe, the link for the recipe. If you want it nice and creamy.
Your voice is going
I know. I think
you can't even. Yeah.
It's been a long day, and I think I may be coming down with something.
I think you might be.
You know, but the best remedy for that is
pulled pork.
So, all right, we're gonna build a sandwich. So I'm gonna bring this in, and we are going to look at that bark in there. Oh my gosh!
Wow. Okay. Right, you do yours.
I'll do mine.
And I've got some of this sauce. I need a little more of this sauce.
The sauce. You got to do the sauce.
It looks so good. Okay, here, Chris. I want to give you some of that.
Yeah, give me plenty. I love that sauce. So now we're going to top it. This is traditional Carolina style. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but try it. You're going to love it. We got some homemade coleslaw here.
There we go. Pile that on.
Pile it on, baby.
Okay. Are we ready? Is it finally time?
It is. It's been a labor of love, and it is so worth it.
All right, y'all. I'm dying.
This is.
Here we go.
This is the real deal. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Do it. All right.
I'm gonna slap you. That's so good.
I'm gonna say, give us a blue ribbon.
That is amazing, yo. That is brilliant% Luna proof.
Wow, you're already voting?
Yes, okay. I'm sorry. I have to. I'm hungry, and I'm gonna eat this like nobody's business.
So good to you guys. This is amazing. Making this from scratch is so good. It's so amazing. Look up smokeandtext.com. You're going to be so happy. Loon10 is your discount code.
Yeah. And,
all right, we're going to go and eat. All right, we love you guys.
Make pulled pork.
Bye, everybody.